If you really want to connect with somebody, so where they're happy in your presence and they're more productive than they would be without it, the key is that when we communicate, we want to have the goal to make the other person feel seen, heard, and validated. Then they will connect with you, they will trust you, your influence will be much more than it was before, and everybody's happier and more productive. How do we do that? How do we create that connection? Because we still have these barriers, and so do they, to protect against shame and judgment and the pain thereof. How do we connect with people despite these barriers? After reading over 26 books over communication and psychology and sales, and practicing what I have learned from these books in the 6,000 group classes that I was able to have and experience, what I have learned is that every single tactic and has boiled down to a combination of one or more of these three things. And I will tell you that with these three things, the first thing and the last thing are there to make sure that we don't mess up the connection that we may already have or destroy a connection. The second thing is what really helps us to be connected. And those three things are speaking with clarity, communicating with curiosity, and speaking with tact. So, clarity, curiosity, and tact. Let's discuss how this helps people connect with you. Let's first talk about clarity. Clarity is exactly what it sounds like. When we are not clear about information, decisions don't get made. We feel less hesitant. We feel unsure. So if we communicate with somebody in a way that they are not sure because they're not clear, it's hard to even think about establishing a real connection. So again, it's not just about what we say, it's also about what we hear. And one of the best ways to find out if we are clear is to just ask. So when somebody says something to you, you might repeat back or summarize what you've heard to make sure that there's an understanding. Let's talk about the second one, which is curiosity. This is the one thing that really helps us to be connected. With Kara, I was curious about who she was, her name, where she's from, where she worked. I was curious about how she worked out and why. I was curious about what made her want to push her limits so far and how can I help her? And she felt that. She felt seen and heard in that way. And the same thing can happen when we express curiosity. What's the opposite of curiosity? That would be apathy or lack of interest. Since when has anybody ever felt connected to somebody that doesn't have interest or has apathy towards them or whatever their interests are? It doesn't exist. It's the reason why when you talk to somebody, if they're on their phone while you're talking with them, you feel some kind of way, like you almost feel like you just don't want to talk at all because there's more interest in their phone, or in another way, there's a lack of interest in what you are saying. So when we talk to people, even if we have assumptions, I had assumptions about how Kara was feeling that day. Instead, I asked her what's wrong, what's going on. And we can do that too. When people are talking with us and we're trying to gain clarity, we might also use that opportunity for curiosity. How did we come to this conclusion, for example, is a great way to express curiosity. The third one, again, the clarity, and this third one, tact, are things we do to protect the connection, to make sure that it doesn't dissipate. And tact is simply not needlessly offending other people. Not neat. Now, here is what tact is not. Tact is not sugarcoating the truth or the facts. It's not watering down truth and fact. It is being honest. And sometimes the sheer honesty of things is enough to hurt people. And we don't have to add to that by quote unquote telling it like it is. You know those kind of people. I'm going to just tell them like it is. And usually when people do that, I'm going to tell them like it is. That was a stupid decision that you did. And there goes that language of shame and judgment that we are already protecting ourselves against. That will definitely prevent connection. Highly important if you are a boss or a manager, or even among your peers, if you go to criticize them in any way, if you use that language, telling them like it is, I'm just being honest with you, but you were wrong. We might find more or better ways to communicate what we need to by being curious. Clarity, curiosity, tact. If you do these things, you will be more connected with the people around you. And like Kara, the people around you are going to want to do more for you. They're going to want to work harder for you. They're going to want to buy things from you if you're trying to sell a product, service, or an idea to your boss, maybe. There's one more caveat to all of this to make this work. Who decides if they feel seen, heard, and validated? I'll give you a hint. It's not you, and it's not me. It's the other person. So when we learn to hear from the other person that they feel seen, heard, and validated, they are connected to us. And out of reciprocity, they will eventually be more curious into you and will treat you very similarly, or you'll notice that they try to. And when this happens, that's when we elevate to that space where everybody's happy to be around each other. Everybody's working together. Everybody's working harder. People are happy to do business with you, to work with you, to be in a relationship with you in any capacity because we are connected. So communicate clearly, be curious, be tactful. And if you can do these three things, follow these principles and how you communicate with others, you will connect with people, you will build their trust in you, and your influence will be greater than it ever was. So we can all get more of what we want.